Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got baseball bet Johnny up. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are all having a happy holiday. We got 2 more days for the toy drive. Things are looking okay. Could be better, but we're going to work with what we got. Appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. What's going on? Latin Butterfly, how are you? John, what's good? Yaz, Mike Shula, happy holidays. I got a funny one for you guys today. We're going to finish up the video from yesterday. And this is the famous Yes, I Did video. So let's get into it.
We have John Elite in the house, former enforcer and hitman for.
Watch his face when he says hitman for the Gambino family. Watch his
the Gotti and Gambino crime family.
Huh?
How are you? Is that a
real proud moment, huh? Real proud fucking moment. All right, let's get back to where we left off yesterday.
Criminal organization. In general, if there's a problem, someone owes you money, someone did you dirty, or whatever, you want to talk the situation out before it gets violent.
Correct.
But at what point do you decide, okay, there's no more talking, now I either have to shoot or kill this guy, or baseball bat him?
Well, it depends on who's calling.
Or pipe him, as you would say. Pipe him.
This
guy's nuts.
On the shots. But if it's me and you're gambling with me, for say, and you beat me the first week out for $27,000.
Vito, what's going on? Full green light. How are you? We heard this part yesterday. He talked his nonsense. We're going to get deeper into it, though.
Well, I actually wrote down a bunch of the names as you were kind of,
Yo, Eric, what's going on, my friend? Happy holidays. I hope you and your family have a good holiday season. We're having a merry Snitchmas over here.
Naming them off. So, for example, Paul G., you shot him in front of John Gotti Sr.'s house, and you didn't care that it was in front of the house.
Yeah.
Did he end up dying?
He didn't die. You know what happened? At that time, I'm young also, and I didn't know.
Excuse me.
Glizzy gang. It's all I hear when these guys talk. Hey, Gene, how you doing today? Happy holidays, Gino. That's all I hear when these guys talk. A bunch of bullshit. But let's get into it.
Storm. So when I shot him, he laid in the snow. It saved his life because it was about 2 foot of snow at that time. I caught him in a snowstorm, and I also was going to cut his throat in front of a house across the street. A sanitation worker came out screaming. I pointed a gun at him that was empty at that time.
Hey, it doesn't get any better than this. This is Rambo in the flesh. The Mafia's Rambo. Maestro, how are you? Happy holidays.
I emptied the clip trying to shoot this guy while he was running. And I was going towards him to cut his throat, and sanitation was screaming, call the police.
I was going to cut his throat.
And I ended up turning back around and not finishing it, or I would have finished him there.
Georgie Grasso, you said you shot him in the head?
Yeah, Georgie Grasso was one of the first guys we killed. Him and Johnny Gebbett tried to hit me. And also got his orders because he was talking about us being in the drug business. He was too verbal, he got warned.
Right, yeah.
Hey, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Johnny Boy here said that he was raking in millions of dollars a week in the heroin business, right? Before Paul Castellano got killed, he was raking in millions for Ruggiero and He was working for Gotti. That's what he said in this interview. He said he was raking. He goes, Vlad asked him, you were making millions? Net profit? He was like, no. That was profit was a couple million. You can't make this up, but he can.
I'm dead, Johnny Grebin.
Johnny Gebbett, I ordered him
Gebbett,
dead
yeah.
from prison. First week I went in. Prior to going in, I told him, have a Christmas gift for me. And I says, wait till I'm in prison before you touch this guy. And this is after I had a meeting with Gotti Jr. Well, actually, I didn't have a meeting. He sent somebody to see me. He was afraid to come see me. He was on telephones. And I laughed at him. I said, at this time, he lost control. I was asked to hit Gotti Jr. at that time, his uncle.
Lies. Bunch of lies. If you guys don't know, when he testified in court, they didn't believe anything he said. Gotti ended up getting a mistrial or a hung jury, something like that. But they said that this guy was not credible at all.
So he didn't have no control over me in those times.
Bruce Gadarab, you ordered him.
Hey, Tim, how are you? Raekwon, what's going on? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Tony, good morning. Craig Gatto, the reality report.
I'm dead.
Bruce Gadarab was a guy, again, that shot Ronnie One was a captain of our family's nephew in a bar that we controlled, and he was trying to shake down the bar owner. We asked him to step back. He actually tried to shoot me, too, with a machine gun, and
he tried to shoot me with a machine gun. There was only 100 bullets in it, and I dodged every single one of them. We believe you, Johnny. We believe you. See, the bullshit keeps going on.
With about 5 guys in a park to hit me.
Sewer pipe, what's going on? So they sent 5 guys in a park to hit Johnny Boy here, and somehow he thwarted the whole fucking thing. He was able to escape.
And actually, I'm friendly with the family. He's one of the hits that I regret that we ordered.
Listen, if he ordered a murder and he's friends with the family now, whoever that family may be, you are trash just like him. Whoever associates with this guy, you have no integrity. So if he really killed somebody and he's associating with the family, it shows you what type of people they are.
I reached out. It changed my life. So I reached out to a lot of these guys and families and people that'll talk to me, and I advocate. I got involved with Second Chance program with Tiffany and Paul Newtel, Michael, Harry O'Harris.
They should be fired immediately. Anyone getting these people, getting this guy near anybody to speak to kids, they should be fired immediately, and they should have nothing to do with stuff like that. This guy is not a good influence on anybody. Do you hear the shit coming out of his mouth? Let's listen.
And, you know, I'm looking at guys that are in prison, like Gene Borello just came home in a Second Chance program.
Oh, your buddy Gene. How can we forget him? Just came home for the 15th time.
So these things, for me, is in my past. That's not who I am today. I mean, unfortunately, I did them, so I'm not going to lie about them. I got to discuss them for people to understand there's a life after you do these things, and you can move forward if you want to change your life.
Mike Lavegli, you shot him in the chest?
Mike Lavigny, I walked into a nightclub. He called protocols. 2 cops owned the place that I had a drug business out of. He slapped a doctor that was going to emergency call. He wouldn't move his car out of his driveway. So when I came into that bar, that nightclub, somebody touched I had a scarf around my neck. It happened to be Christine Belmont's brother. I got a good memory with names. Christine Belmont was a friend of ours. It was her brother. I didn't know him. I knocked him out.
I knocked him out, you know, 1 punch. Easy work, light work. I need a signed baseball bat and a butcher knife for your man cave. Hey, I'll sign one for you. That dude has one of many sausages. This guy, these guys are fucking pure entertainment. This is for entertainment purposes only, people. So if you are in the mafia, as they say, don't do anything to this guy.
His friend jumped in. I hit him with a glass, and then Mike opened his mouth. And I told him I was looking for you anyway. Shut your mouth or I'm going to shoot you.
He said he jumped up and he said, I'm going to shoot you. So he just backed down and he let me shoot him.
He said, fuck you. I asked my friend Keith at the time, give me the gun. He gave me the gun. I shot him in the chest. I put a glass across his head after he was down.
And these are the things I want your kids to look at. They need to hear these stories so they can learn from his dumbass mistakes, okay?
Ricky Stratton shot him in the head.
Ricky Stratton, I hit him on Interborough Parkway, Jackie Robinson Parkway. He was with those guys, with Bruce got her up and those guys trying to hit me. I caught him coming out of the house. Actually, his brother, Michael Stratton, Richie Langston, these guys are all guys that I'm friends with now and helped me to change my life. And unfortunately, this is some of the things that we did. And these guys understand that they lived a life like I did.
Nicky Pasquale shot him 5 times on his porch.
Nicky Pasquale was a guy that was around me running an after hours. He's Albanian and Italian. He worked for a bread union for the West Side for a guy named Ross, Genovese family captain. And I paid off a cop $60,000, got shot in my after hours. He never gave the guy the money. He went to Gotti, he thought Gotti was going to help him. I came home from, I was in prison on a short stint. I came home, I got a gun from Charles Koenig and went to his house, talked to him. He opened his mouth a little slick with me. This is a guy that's around me. I guess Gotti gave him what they call gorilla biscuits, gave him the confidence to think that he doesn't have to answer to me anymore. And I guess he found out he does.
Nobody answered to you, Johnny boy. I don't believe you. You had no crew under you. I believe you probably did some crazy shit back in the day. Here and there, you weren't killing nobody. You didn't work for Gotti Sr. It was not like that. You were friends with the son. You slept over a couple times. That's the extent of it. You were not running a heroin operation for Gotti Sr. and taking orders on hits and all. You were not a part of the family at all. You were never going to be part of the family. I don't know, like in your brain, do you really believe this shit? Do you? Because if you do, you got mental illness, man. Huge, huge problem in the world today.
Him 4 or 5 times.
Mike Pip, you shot him?
Mike Pip, I shot, I think 3 times, and 2 of his friends, they were running. They robbed a drug spot on 116th Street, 101st Avenue. I had a guy that was driving for me that was one of my drug guys, and another nice guy, Mickey, happened to be in the car, in the back seat. And I said, let me step out of the car. We were going to a nightclub called Metro 700. I had a 22 Ruger 50-shot banana clip in the car. I pulled it out of a pillowcase. I got on one knee, pulled the scope out, and they were about a half a block running. And I started shooting them. They said I missed them. I said, give it 10 seconds. They got adrenaline, they'll fall. And one by one, they started falling. So, yeah, I hit 3 guys there.
Yeah, they had adrenaline, so just give it some time. They started falling, dropping like flies.
I'm going to send A Liar an email so I can get him to make me a custom bat with spikes for zombies. Hey, man, if zombies come, just call him. He'll fucking take care of it. They need to drop this guy off over in Israel, over in Ukraine. He'll take care of the whole fucking war will be over because of him. Angel Gotti says Eli never entered their house. He did enter their house. He slept over. They were having sleepovers. That's it. Like, let's not downplay what it was. They were friends. And they weren't like they weren't friends for years and years, and he was not involved with Gotti Sr. If you believe that Gotti Sr. would have this fluffy-haired motherfucker running heroin for him, you are out of your fucking mind. out of your mind if you believe that shit. He wants you to believe it. Honestly, the thing he's doing, right? Mr. Johnny Boy here, he wants to be Scammy the Bull so bad. He wishes he was him. He tells stories like he was the underboss for Gotti. He was in control of the whole Gambino family from the beginning. He's the reason why it was a well-oiled machine. And don't ever forget that. Total fraud. Total bullshit.
Vito Guzzo, you had him shot, and I guess he tried to have you killed like 8 times.
Vito Guzzo and those guys, I'm friends with Frankie Forandello, Eddie, I forget the other guy's name. But yeah, these guys were on America's Most Wanted. They killed about 6, 7 guys. They were guys that were against the Gottis at that time. They shot one of Angelo Ruggiero's sons. So he was going to go eventually.
How come you didn't retaliate for that, Johnny Boy?
He challenged us, and he challenged the Gotti regime at that time. And we had him shot. And then I walked into a nightclub that he controlled called Kickers on Metropolitan Avenue. I shot 4 guys there. One in the stomach, I think the other guy in the...
This guy, right? He's just going around shooting everybody. Bang, 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 bang. I walked into a club and shot 4 guys there. No problem. You know, guys started running out of the car. I got out of the car with a scope. Poof, poof, poof. They'll drop. Don't worry. They'll drop. Let's go to the other club. I got 8 more people in the shoot over there. I'm going to go shoot these guys and these guys. Yeah. You're playing a video game in your head. Like, you're explaining what Grand Theft Auto is. Like, this is not even believable by no means.
And the arm and the other 2 guys I shot over unionizing bouncers and looking for Vito Guzzo.
So you're telling me you did all this shit, Johnny Boy, and you never got caught? There was never a problem? All smooth sailing, huh?
Sal Nuda's brother, you shot him in front of the bar.
Sal Noto, it's his brother-in-law, one of his friends, had a problem with Joe O'Kane at the time. Joe O'Kane was around me.
I believe these people were probably shot, not by him. I think he's taking other situations and he's trying to explain them like he's the reason behind it. He's the reason why it happened. I don't believe it.
Me up. He says that he can't leave the bar. They said they're going to kill him. He got into an argument. I walked in, shot the guy on the dance floor.
Hey, Raven, how you doing?
I went by myself. A lot of his stuff I go by myself.
Now he did all of it by himself. He didn't need a crew. But he had 30 guys selling heroin for him. Don't forget that. Don't worry, Gotti Sr. Stay home. Enjoy your family. I'm going to go take care of the dirty work. All right? Because I'm your guy. You weren't his guy. You were friends with his son. You had a sleepover. You're probably sniffing his boxers. Fucking weirdo is what you are.
No, I'm being serious.
This is the extent of your fucking mafia career right here.
As I'm walking out, a couple guys were chasing me. I left my car so they wouldn't get a plate. And I told the guy, stop following me. He was with another guy, and there was a 3rd guy behind him. I said, you stupid, I just shot a guy. What do you think, I got to shoot you? And he kept following.
So you tell a guy that you shot a guy, right? Let the ratting begin.
Following me, so I turned around and shot him a couple of times.
You
For
shot
good
2 guys
measure.
for Michael Carapano.
Michael Carapano was getting baseball batted on by Mondello's on between 85th Street and Forest Park. I happened to be driving by. And
Sure,
he's a
he
good friend of
was.
mine, still a good friend of mine. Tough guy, used to fight all the time. And he was fighting the guys. They pulled a bat. They were a baseball bat. I pulled over, seen him, and I shot both guys.
I guess you shot 2 guys for showing your property.
Shot 3 guys on my property.
Oh, here comes a fake-ass property story. Listen to this. This is a funny one. So you know those movies when I hear a noise. The burglar alarm's going off. But wait, no, Scarface. Yeah, just think of Scarface, right? When he's sitting in the house at the end and people are invading his property, his compound and shit. He's got a machine gun. He's hunting these guys down, right? Johnny Boy was that guy. Let's hear it.
Somebody questioned that shooting. I forget who, but it doesn't matter. Dino Finelli was there, Carmen Roan. I give you, these are legitimate guys that were part of cleaning up for me, getting rid of guns. Rocky Finelli. The next morning, they tried to hit me. I had an underground fence company. I had bells that would go off on my property. My ex-wife called me, told me that there's several guys waiting for me. I believe there was 5 guys waiting for me. I believe I.
Now this is in the fucking 90s, right? This is in the 90s. And he had some sophisticated surveillance equipment with bells underground. And his wife called him. But you got the bells underground, right? I thought the bells let you know that people were on your property. So why'd your wife have to call you? And how the fuck did she know that people were on your property? You can pick apart your story in 2 seconds because they're lies.
Maybe a third. Shot it out with them on the property, and I had this guy Danny. He was involved also. He did an interview about it.
Oh, he did.
I go by myself.
How much did you pay him for that, Johnny Boy?
And as I'm walking out, a couple guys were chasing me. I left my car so they wouldn't get a plate. And I told guys they pulled a bat. They were a baseball bat. I pulled over. Seeing had bells that would go off on my property. My ex-wife called me, told me that there's several guys waiting for me. I believe there was 5 guys waiting for me.
5 guys. Now, remember this. We're going to pick this story right the fuck apart.
I believe I definitely killed 2, maybe a third.
How come there's no records of these people existing, Johnny Boy? Huh?
Shot it out with them on the property, and I had this guy Danny. He was involved also. He did an interview about it, talking about that shooting. And
how much you pay him for that, John?
These guys were all there, and afterwards cleaning up the blood, the mess, and what went on there.
You stabbed a guy in the neck and the stomach in Fort Lauderdale in front of Nikki Butch.
See, he didn't question him at all about it. No questioning, nothing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, these guys were. I was with a girl named Dawn. I worked at a club called Shooters in Florida, and the guy was one of these weightlifter steroid guys, and he was with 2 or 3 guys. And I bought a dozen roses for a girl, and she was going to Champagne. The girl Dawn. And Dawn knows me, so she knew what I was going to do. And I went back to the bouncer, I think whatever he was. He looked like a bouncer. He just got out of jail for a brass knuckling a kid from behind. A small guy, too. This guy was huge. He was a 325-pound guy. Anyway, I went back to him, and I told him, next time he ever touches me, I says, I'm going to kill him. I says, you.
Oh, so you let him put his hands on you. Is that what you're saying, Johnny? You let the guy put his hands on you? You didn't do nothing right away? You're killing everybody else, right? You're shooting people in clubs and bars outside. You're in the middle of the road with the scope and shit at your property. You're just murdering, slaughtering people, right? But you let someone hit you in a bar and you don't do shit? I don't believe you, Johnny Boy.
You better remember who you're talking to. And he mushed my face.
What? He mushed your face? Not the commander-in-chief. Come on, man. This guy did all this shit, right? Killing all these people, shooting people, stabbing people, baseball batting people. Then he goes to a bar and lets some guy mush his face.
I said, all right. I came back. I went to the bar. I asked them for a knife. They gave me a little lemon cutter. I said, no, the butcher knife. They said, well, it's in the kitchen. I went into the kitchen, got the butcher knife, put it behind my back. I walked back. I said, did I warn you? And he looked at me. He didn't know what I was going to do. I stabbed him. I stabbed his friend. And the police were at the front door. They worked the nightclub. And they pinched me right there, stripped me naked into just underwear, took all my clothes, charged me. I believe at the time it was attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon.
I believe he was charged with two conspiracy and the murder of Georgie Grasso, because he was in the conspiracy with that. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. He wasn't charged with 1,800 murders that he clearly has admitted to right here on video. But we'll see, right? Yeah, I think, right? Georgie Grasso, right? Georgie Grasso and Georgie Grasso and Georgie Grasso. And yeah, Georgie Grasso too. Don't forget Georgie Grasso. Ivan, how you doing?
And
Dean, what's going on, man? James, how are you? Salvatore Grasso, what's good, my friend?
later on, these guys dropped charges. Their lawyer knew, my lawyer, Richie Raybach.
So you're murdering people and they dropped the charges? What lawyer do you have, Johnny? Because I need him, okay?
At the time was Gotti Sr.'s lawyer. Gotti Sr. gave me him as to defend me.
Listen, this guy is living a fantasy. His fucking mind is warped. Reality is not real.
When they found out who I was and who I knew, the one guy backed out of the trial. The other guy gave information saying that I was protecting myself from his friend.
You baseball batted 3 bikers and stabbed one of them?
The place was called Old Brother Inn, 78th Street, Jamaica Avenue. My friend Joey Mathis was an accountant, regular guy. He was in the bar with Kenny Nicole. And they called me up at about 3 in the morning. I was sleeping. And they said, 3 guys are here, and we can't leave the bar. They said they're going to kill us. I walked up, and I told the guys, let them come out of the bar. He told me, mind your business.
Charles, what's going on? I just spoke to Chad a little while ago. He's really sick. He has COVID, I believe. And sending prayers to Chad. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate that. Shout out to Chad. Go check his channel out, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. He's got great content. Ronald, how are you? Great show as always. I've been following you since you begun, Staxx. Ron from Georgia. Give Ramundi my best, and you're doing great, Staxx. Keep up the good work. 100%. I spoke to Ramundi yesterday, and he wants to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone out there. And I'm going to get something from him special for you guys. So instead of Rambo, I say act more like John Wick of the Mafia. He needs to get in the bedroom. The biker story sounds pretty close to the Sammy story. The one where Sammy breaks his leg. Let's listen.
One guy went into a coma. I'm not sure. I think he died. I'm not sure. I mean, I told a story about him.
I think he died. I'm not sure, you know, because they don't charge you with murder when you kill someone. All those people I said I killed, nah, they just let it go, you know? They knew they were in the life. The cops and the prosecutors, they all knew that these guys were in the life. So he's able to just kill whoever and get away with it. Pretty crazy, huh?
2 guys I batted. Kenny Nicole, I batted by accident. He came running up behind me. And a week later, they came looking for me, the crew of bikers. I went into a bar with Michael Finnerty.
Crew of bikers would have beat your ass. You're telling me a whole fucking crew of bikers couldn't beat your ass, but you go to the strip club and you end up in the drink? You end up in the fucking river, in the canal, right? Because of some Albanian guys slapping you around in the bar? But a whole crew of bikers couldn't do shit to you? I don't believe you.
About 16 at the time. And I stabbed the head guy of that motorcycle gang.
Yeah, okay. And they didn't retaliate, right? He stabbed the fucking leader of a motorcycle club, and they didn't do anything to him. They didn't kill him. They didn't beat his ass. Eli eats bullets for breakfast. I believe it. I believe it. He eats bullets and napalm. These guys, man.
Excuse me.
Catch it this time. Catch it. Catch it. No, he missed. Maybe next time, Gino. Wave to the people. Let's see what stage of his murdering career he's at.
I mean, I guess the Gotti family said that you shot around 60 people.
During a trial, they exaggerate, you know, and they want to make it, you know, I'm an animal. 1 second, I'm an animal. The second, I'm a serial killer. The next second, I didn't do much shooting. I mean, as you can see, we could keep going with all the shooting I did, and I remember names.
Oh, you remember names. But you didn't do this shit. You didn't kill anybody. If you killed all these people, right, these pile of bodies, you'd be in prison for the rest of your life. I don't care how much you cooperated. You are a fucking rat. He likes to fight with the other rats. And, well, no, you know what he likes to do? He likes to link up with all the rats. He's making his own rat mafia. You guys better watch out because he's fucking serious. This is his commander-in-chief. You know, his protege. And then we got Donkey Dominic over there. Yeah, there's a whole fucking family of them. Don't worry. They're all on the chopping block. These guys have lost their fucking mind. All of them. Every single one of them. Yes, I did.
When guys talk and lie, I remember names, locations, witnesses. Kenny Nicole's witness was still alive with that baseball bat thing. And
baseball bat thing, you know? Yeah, sounds legit. Names, not specifics. Yeah, that sounds legit. That's the difference. He remembers names. You can't look these people up, but he remembers them. Rogue, what's going on? You guys know, right? I used to be in the street, right? I'm not a gangster. I'm not none of that. I just used to be in the streets doing dumb shit. I ended up changing my life, and here I am doing something positive. So usually people in the street, when you're associated with other people, you don't even know their names. If they go by nicknames, you're not like asking them, what's your last name, man? None of that. You're just known by nicknames. You don't get into your whole background and all this shit. Just like, hey, it's this guy. You don't, you know, it's not like that. So this guy to be naming government names, just weird. Really fucking weird.
people. I mean, I baseball batted 3 people also in Princeton on Route 1 at a diner, the Princeton Diner. The girl that was there, Lisa Matrisiak, that's her name. She's around. I mean,
okay, then they're going to investigate you right now for baseball batting 3 people at the diner. That's it. That's how easy it is, right? He admits to these crimes. All they have to do is investigate it. You get arrested. You go to jail for fucking baseball batting 3 people at a diner. Now, he's got like murder after murder after murder. Total bullshit. The cops probably watch this shit and laugh because it's so ridiculous. That's why he has not been charged with murder, because it's not true.
all around and alive. They're there when they're watching what I do. I'm not with a group of guys. I'm by myself. So obviously I can handle myself pretty good because I'm not calling guys. I'm not bringing guns on some of these things. And I'm walking in the enemy's bars by myself and doing what I have to do. So the reason why I think it's important to say these things, because I need people that are in my position now in prison, that maybe they'll come home, they can change their life also. And these just had an incident recently at a club. I had a couple of drinks. I was by myself. I was in an industrial area. And you have guys that are Albanian trying to help.
You mean your Albanian family? Not your Albanian family, Johnny. They accept you, don't they?
Guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy took a shot at me, went to punch. You know, he hit me, he punched me on the blind side. But first of all, the kid can't even hit. I mean, he should be able to knock me out. And, you know, he didn't move me. And, you know, the next thing is somebody said to me, well, why didn't I go outside and finish fighting? And they showed up with 8 or 10 guys or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They had 10 guys. That's why you didn't fight back, Johnny? Is that why you jumped in the drink? Weird.
So I didn't have my Superman cape on that day. So I took a dive into the water and, you know, I said I had my Aquaman suit on.
So you heard him, right? He took a dive into the water to avoid getting beat up. Does that sound like a hitman? Does that sound like someone who really puts in all this fucking work in the street? Don't get me wrong. I believe at some point in his life, probably around this time, I'll show you a picture. Probably around this time. Yeah, they were probably fighting in the bar and shit like that. Everyone does that type of shit. I've done it. Everyone watching here has probably had a fight at a bar, right? Probably around this time. Maybe he had a couple squabbles with people. But he wasn't out killing nothing. You weren't killing a motherfucking thing.
We can't retract. We did them. We believed in the life we lived at that time, but it's a new life for me.
Is that right, Johnny boy? Because this interview wasn't long ago.
I made a joke of I came in the club. I'm going to walk out the club.
Right.
And then jump in the water.
You caught me off guard a little bit because I don't really drink and get sloppy. I was drinking. I was alone. Guys know I walk around. I do whatever I feel like doing. I'm really not worried about getting hit.
Right.
I'm a boxer. I mean, it's almost laughable to get punched. So what? You're in a ring, get hit 40, 50 times a day.
No, how come there's no records of you ever fighting anyone? There's no videos of you fighting anyone. Nothing. Like, the only video I've ever seen of you fighting, Johnny boy, is you punching a bag that doesn't hit back. That's it. So explain to me how you're this great fighter and all this shit. Show us a video of you beating the shit out of someone. I want to see it. Because it doesn't exist.
Well, how many of these people that you shot or stabbed or baseball batted actually died?
You hear that, right? Let's hear his response.
Well, Ricky Stratton dies, I think, 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, but he was sick, so they don't actually charge me with that murder. TT, I shot in the head. He doesn't die.
That's not what he asked you, John.
Bruce got her up, is dead.
That's one, right? That's one. That's one murder they haven't charged him with.
George Grasso's dead, Johnny.
Okay, George Grasso again, huh? You killed him again?
Gebbett's dead. Louis.
Georgie Gabbett, you didn't kill him. Louis DeBono, you didn't kill him. That was all John Gotti Sr. All the shit that John Gotti Sr. was doing, ordering murders, doing this and that, you're like taking on this persona like that was you. And it wasn't you.
DeBono was dead. So that list goes on. 2 guys I killed with Frankie Burke. I don't know their name over there.
He doesn't know their name. 2 guys. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 murders that he has not been charged with.
Heroin business on an order from his father, Jimmy Burke, from prison. They're dead.
Okay. That's 7.
The 3 guys on my property, definitely 2 of them are dead.
Okay. That's 8, 9.
So, you know, when I'm doing what I'm doing for a living.
What do you mean? Being a not hitman for the Gambino crime family? You were not a fucking hitman for nobody. You were not. You believe this bullshit, then you are fucking delusional as well. Anyone that believes this fucking guy. I gotta give him this. It is pure entertainment to listen to this guy brag about the hundreds of murders he committed. He tried to say Roy DeMeo wasn't a tough guy. He says that fucking Sammy the Bull didn't do anything to become the underboss of the Gambino crime family. Huh? What? Come on, Johnny.
Excuse.
Talk your shit, Johnny.
I didn't sit there and count them. Really, it wasn't important. Like I said during the trials, I didn't have a computer. I didn't care. I don't care if I shot 30 or 60 or 70 or.
I think the government would care, John. I think the government would care if you shot 30 people. Especially when you're testifying against John Gotti Jr., which you did. If you didn't know, this guy's the biggest cooperator in the history of cooperators. Next to this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and the list goes on and on and on. Dance us a jig, Johnny. Did you dance like that after every murder? Yes. Yes, I did. And then we got this guy, the fake-ass captain of the Bonanno crime family. You were not a captain, Dominic. Trust me, I'm digging deep. And I got some information for you guys about Mr. Donkey Dominic.
Kill 20 or kill 2.
I think the government would care if you killed 20 or you killed 2.
I lived a life at the time. I believed it was the wrong life. And there's nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, I was what I was. I did what I did for a living. But I didn't go out and target regular people in the public. I targeted people in my life that were also in my life that were trying to kill me. And that's not an excuse for some of the violence I committed. But
every single story you just gave, they weren't trying to kill you. Only the guys on your property. But every other story you told, you were the aggressor. You jumped out of the car and shot him with the scope. Went into the bar and shot them all in the head. They weren't trying to kill you. So what the fuck are you talking about? You need meds, man. Meds.
I can't retract it. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it either.
I mean, would you consider yourself a serial killer?
No, a serial killer is somebody just randomly kills somebody. I had a purpose behind the violence that we did. It was either monetary or it was retribution for what somebody did to our family, the Gambino family. Or somebody did something to, a friend of mine, like Joey Mathis that day. 3 bikers that threatened to kill a guy that is a regular guy. He's an accountant. He's in a bar drinking, and, they thought they were tough guys, and I guess they found out differently.
Because he killed the president, and they didn't even retaliate because Johnny Boy has such a reputation that, when you kill a president of a motorcycle club, they're not going to do nothing. Yeah, I believe you, Johnny Boy. I believe that.
Well, Sammy the Bull was also part of the Gambino family.
Correct.
But you guys didn't have dealings together? Nope. Why not? Because he just slept in fucking Junior's house. That's it. They were fucking friends. They were friends. He slept over the house maybe twice or something. That's why he wasn't with John Gotti Sr. He was not with Sammy Gravano. He was around at this time, but he was not in the Gambino family. He did not have a multi-million-dollar heroin operation that John Gotti did not know about. He says he controlled 60 guys on the street. Do you believe that shit? Because I don't. And I have some people who are going to come up here and tell you exactly what Johnny Boy was doing on the streets back then. He wasn't an angel, don't get me wrong. He wasn't like sitting in the house twiddling his thumbs, but he definitely wasn't doing all this shit.
You two close?
Not particularly when we were in the
Cat got your tongue, Johnny Boy?
mob together. Not at all, actually. I said hello, said goodbye, like I said earlier.
Just like you did with Gotti Sr. I think it was 1 or 2 times Gotti Sr. had you go collect money from somebody. That's it. Go get this money. I don't think he told you what the money was for, what it was from, anything. He just said, go collect this money. That's it.
You don't go up to step up to an underboss, or at the time he wasn't an underboss, but a made guy, without knowing him personally and getting the permission from Gotti Sr. At one,
which he could never do because you never had personal conversations with Gotti Sr., only with his son. But you took that as you're in the life, you're in the Gambino family. You watched him and you took his whole life.
one time I tried to have a conversation with Sammy, and Gotti Sr. dressed me down bad.
Oh, did he? Why don't you explain that one? Huh? Explain a true story, Eli. How you got yelled at because you were trying to talk to Sammy. Tell us that story. That's what we want to hear, the truth.
I didn't understand at the time. He didn't want me close to a guy that particularly that he thought maybe in the future he may kill, even though he's his underboss, becomes his underboss. People don't understand the truth.
That's not true. That's not true. Total, he didn't want Sammy to talk to me because he knew he would have to kill Sammy in the future. Total bullshit. This guy's fucking wild, crazy. It's just like, wow.
In our world. So he didn't want me to be friendly with him. He didn't want me to like him. He just wanted me to know him, respect him. But my loyalty is supposed to be to the Gottis and keep a distance from him. So if that day comes where he asks me to pull a trigger on that man, I won't hesitate.
Well, Sammy confessed to 19 murders.
Sammy confessed to 19 murders. And you're trying to take his credit, huh? Is that what you're trying to do, Johnny boy? You want to be Sammy so fucking bad.
Okay. Activities back in time? Whose activities? Johnny Lights? Well, I think they used him more or less to be stronger.
I'm not like most guys. I'm not weak. So when he says something that's not, that I don't like or I don't agree with, I'm going to say it. Mm-hmm. So I'll say it again. Now, he's a cunt. He's a fucking coward. He's another big mouth that didn't do much.
Sounds familiar, Johnny boy.
Now, people are going to say, well, he was an underboss, you know, buddy. So I'm going to tell you, you can ask people or research, what did this man do to get to be to the level of being a made man? So people think because they're a made man that they did something spectacular to get there.
Who would you say is more violent, you or Sammy?
By my own hand, I'd say obviously I was more violent by my own hand. Sammy, I think he said this in one of his interviews. Killing's easy, and I agree with him. If you're a killer like he is or I am, it's easy. The hard part is getting away with it, right? And you got to be intelligent to get.
But you just admitted to like 19 murders, more. I think 30. So what are you talking about?
Away with any dummy can pull a trigger, and you're going to get caught. I never particularly got caught with a crime ever.
I just told on myself. Never got caught with a crime. I'm just telling you all the crimes now on video, you know?
He didn't do any kind of robberies because he went through that on his shows. He did some bullshit like almost kid stuff, to robberies. He shot a gun once prior to him becoming a made guy. And he shot one person out of 19 out of his own mouth. So he shot maybe 2 people, and he lived off that his whole life. And he tells you about how tough he is. He set up murders. If you're that tough, after you cooperated, you wouldn't have hid in Arizona. He loves Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn, but yet he's hiding in another state. So I don't think, and I've said this over and over again recently, I never been caught with a gun or a bullet or on tape or a video and audio. I was good at what I did. I got caught by everybody ratting on me.
No, you got caught from telling on yourself. You're doing it right now on video. Nobody told on you. Nobody cooperated against you, Johnny. John Jr. didn't cooperate against you. You cooperated against him.
So when they use that word rat, or people use that word rat, they better define what that word means.
It means John A. Light. The word rat, John A. Light. There's a whole bunch of them out there. When you say the word rat, you got Foodie, you got Ruggiero, Ruggiano, you got A-Light, all these fucking rats, Barillo Pad, all these fucking rats. There's a whole bunch of them. You got Dominic the Donkey, you got Sammy the Bull. There's a whole bunch. A list goes on and on. Frankie Pasqua, Artie, what's his name? Anthony Areola, all these guys.
Because I never was caught with a crime. When I was betrayed, that I was finished with that life.
Oh, when you were betrayed, but you still want to be a gangster.
Sammy, on the other hand, was a very intelligent guy, a money maker. He was a gangster and he was a mobster. He was both. He was a thug and he was a businessman.
Say, like Bin Laden in the mountains. So to me, he's a fucking coward with another big mouth. You know, he's an older guy now. He ain't no tough guy. He can bullshit everybody else. These guys live over reputations of doing one or two things, and then they con everybody.
Sounds familiar, Johnny. Sounds very familiar.
So they don't sit with me because I'm very straightforward the way I talk, because I'm going to talk in detail. Let's talk about what you did. I'm going to ask them, let's tell us how you got to be a made guy. Tell me what you did to get there. Tell me while you were a made guy, did you go out and shoot anybody by yourself? Did you fight 3 guys by yourself? Did you go out and put a bat in your hand by yourself? Did you go do a robbery by yourself? Did you ever do anything without being a coward and shooting somebody in the back of the head with 10 guys? But
he had a crew. He didn't have to do all that.
And I try to carry myself the same way. And certain guys taught me that. And I think Johnny Cornelia was one of them. He had a big influence on me. If he never went to prison, I think things would have been different in the Gambino family, and particularly with his own stepson that he adopted, and all of us. We were betrayed by the leadership. We were betrayed by Johnny's brother.
Yeah. Mobland, how are you? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Rogue James, what's good, man? John Wayne Gacy's boyfriend, how are you? Full Green Light. Pabil, what's going on? We got Luke Stevens. Emerald, what's up, man? Dean. Got a lot of people in the house. We got 70 people in the house. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. And if you guys want to help out with the toy drive, we got one more day after today. So help me help them. We're getting there. So hit up the Cash App Chatting with Staxx, or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chats, all that good shit. And we're trying to help some kids down at the shelter this year like we did the last 2 years. It was a success every year, and it's getting better every single year. If you guys don't know, the new episode of The Skinny with Joey Merlino is going to be on today at 1 o'clock. Here, I'll drop a link in the chat if you guys want to check out The Skinny at 1. I'm not going yet. I still got some more time, so we're still going to chop it up. Gerbo, how are you? Lewis, sending PayPal. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Anyone that helps out, it's tremendously appreciated. You have no idea. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have. We need one more subscriber to have 8,000 subscribers. I am so ecstatic at that. It's a huge accomplishment. One more subscriber. We're at 7,999. Yeah, it's crazy. I never thought I would have 8,000 subscribers. That's insane. And it's only going to get better. I got a lot of good people coming on the show. I got some schedule. Make that 8,000. Let me check it. Bam! We hit 8,003 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Really, you have no idea. That really means a lot to me. We just hit 8,003 subscribers. If you guys don't know, 56,000 people watch my show every week. We have a pretty good following, and a lot of people watch the show. So, and if you put together all of the people who are now, can you do a Dominic Sicali impression?
Welcome to Mafia Roundtable. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
I'll play a clip of Mr. Donkey Dominic in a minute.
Charles, who was a drug addict and had no position, he had no business.
Next
in the
stop,
mob.
9,000.
He was a
You
junkie.
damn
He had no
right.
business. He didn't understand the mob, and he was.
It's been going. We've got a lot of sales in. So people comment on the vodka when it does arrive. Right now, there's a little lag time because we have to supply the liquor store. So,
Fucking liar. Make sure you guys follow it well. If you guys ever order anything from this fraud, make sure you order it directly from the consumer and not from him.
if people don't know, from my release from prison in 1999, federal custody, I stayed in
I stayed in
Center City. I was at the Kintuck, which was a halfway house. So I
Staxx
really got
bundles
to know
on
the
the
city,
rise,
and I
yo.
loved it. I loved the people there, the guys there. Got along with very well. The OC guys there, the street guys there.
Hell yeah, you know it, man. We're gonna grind out. We're gonna hit some major goals in this next year coming up. I have a lot of things planned, so we're just getting started.
just loved it. It was like being in New York. So I tend to disagree when somebody slanders Philly and the guys there.
Oh, you mean your boyfriend Gino? How he slandered Philly?
Everybody's capable. So that was a misstatement. But Gene just has to learn. He has to grow. He needs to listen a lot. He's like the Energizer Bunny when he goes. But the only thing I like about Gene, he'll tell you the way he feels, what's on his mind, and he keeps it real.
Warn you, but I'm gonna fix it. I did this to the door. Warn you, but I'm gonna fix it. I pushed the door in. 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 I did this to the door. Yes, I pushed the door in.
And his card is on file here.
Yours. But I'm gonna fix it. 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 But I'm gonna fix it.
So if I get charged for this,
You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged.
I'm just the only one taking it. Warn you. Paying for these women? Yeah. Paying for these women?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No
Even if
wonder he
doesn't,
got
it's
caught.
shame on him. At least I could say I tried to help somebody. We have another comment.
All right, let's get this stupid motherfucker off the screen before I have before my brain gets melted by his pure stupidity. But we'll be in Florida this year, 100%. We're going down to Florida this year. We're going to be all over the country. So let's get back to Baseball Bat Johnny.
So these are the decisions by the hierarchy of the Gambino family to put these guys in this position they didn't belong in.
Well, you had said that Sammy the Bull wanted to kill John Gotti. I guess John Gotti Jr. or Sr.?
Lies. Fucking lies.
Sammy, but here's again.
Here, do you see? The deflection is so real with this guy. It's insane. He just asked him a question. Answer the fucking question. Don't answer the question with another fucking question. Answer the fucking question, John.
Who was a drug addict and had no position, he had no business in the mob.
You know who was a drug addict and had no position in the mob? This guy. He was not in the mob. If you guys don't know, this guy was not a made guy. He was not in that life. He was a drug addict. He went to rehab. Some guy choked his own mom out. Some guy beat the shit out of his own mom. And his dad, had it set up to where they're going to kill the guy. But he didn't do it. How come? The guy assaulted your mother. And you didn't do it. But you set it up. You lured the guy there. You couldn't do it yourself.
He was a junkie. He had no business. He didn't understand the mob, and he was not mentally right. So these are the decisions by the hierarchy of the Gambino family to put these guys in this position they didn't belong in.
Well, you had said that Sammy the Bull wanted to kill John Gotti. I guess John Gotti Jr. or Sr.?
Let's listen to his answer. That's a simple question, right? Simple question deserves a simple answer. Great show, Bill. Keep exposing these rats. Big D, Bristol. Hell yeah, you already know, man. Fuck these guys. Jojo Bird, what's going on? Says Dominic's stories suck. Yeah. What about Adria lady? She was a maid man. She was a lady, a maid woman, right? Maid woman. Listen, people in the mob do not talk to women about mob activities. It doesn't happen. Maybe pillow talk, you know, but they're not telling them any fucking thing that's going on. Not for real. Maybe lies.
Sammy the Bull, here's again, if Sammy the Bull was a serial killer, he would have killed John Gotti Jr., right? Or he would have had it done. He didn't do it because he had respect for, he's just a kid. He's a dummy. I don't respect him. He's a non-entity, and he won't do that. If he was going to kill anybody, it would have been John Gotti Sr. And John Gotti Sr. would have got killed if he came out of jail. Not just from Sammy, from any of the 5 families.
No, he wouldn't have. John Gotti was the boss until he died. People respected him. And he took his time like a man. He did what you couldn't do. He did what all these fucking guys couldn't do. You couldn't do your fucking time. Bunch of coward-ass punks who tell on other people to get out of trouble. And then you come on the internet and brag and boast about all the shit you did. Hey, Gene, we were just talking about you. These guys are insane. Fucking sane.
Excuse. Had it with him. He just put everything on blast, and that's not what the mob's about, putting them on blast. It's supposed to be, like, again, what we said, a quiet entity.
Did you know Chin Gigante?
No, I didn't. I know of him, obviously. My ex,
Come on, dig deep, Johnny boy. You have to know the Chin. You were involved with all these people. You were running the Gambino family. You didn't have any dealings with other families, John? Come on. You were the reason. You were the fucking grease in the wheel.
child's mother and my son's mom's and her family, the 2 of the uncles were captains in the Genovese family. So I'm very familiar. I had friends in the Genovese family. I was involved in business with one of the captains in the Genovese family. So I had a, listen, in the mob world, we different crews, but we also align together. It's not what people think. We're not trying to kill each other. We're trying to make money with each other.
He just said they only kill each other right before that. So what is he talking about? Like, I don't get it, man. This guy, he's just all over the fucking place.
We're friendly with a lot of guys from different crews, and obviously over the years, a lot of guys that I was friendly with became bosses and of different crews and families that I was involved with. One of them is Ronnie Turchi from the Philadelphia mob, was a concierge there. I was very friendly with him. He got killed. His son was my friend back then, still my friend today.
Well, did you see the movie The Irishman?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know Frank Sheeran at all?
No, I knew Ali Calabrese was one of the guys I hurt in prison that they talk about, was around one of the bosses, Captain Tommy from Cleveland. So, all of us know each other one way or another, or we know of each other. I didn't know him.
Thank you for the PayPal.
What about Jimmy Hoffa?
Thank you for the PayPal. I really appreciate it. Every single dollar is going to help a lot. We only have today and tomorrow left. Lewis, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Hoffa.
No, I didn't know Jimmy Hoffa, and I don't think anybody knows where Jimmy Hoffa is. When I hear these stories, that's exactly what they are, stories. Nobody knows where Jimmy is.
That's exactly what you're telling. Fucking stories. Emmy Yayo guy, what's going on? Crimey TV, what's good, man? Thanks for joining me this morning. James Jameson. I used to drink that shit. Blech.
Right. Well, I interviewed Michael Franzese, and he said that The Irishman, is a nice movie, but really the premise of it is a lie. He said that Frank Sheeran.
The jealousy wheels are running in his head right now as he talks about another mafia guy. How dare you?
Didn't kill Jimmy Hoffa.
I'll tell you this. I saw The Irishman. I don't know if you've seen it. Scorsese's new film.
Not yet. I heard it was
Okay.
great.
This lying motherfucker, too. Listen, he's on the chopping block, too. He is a straight up liar. He was trying to get his father to come on a fucking mafia podcast, and his father didn't want anything to do with it. And he kept trying. Why? Because he wanted to exploit his own father for all the bullshit in the past. And then he goes on a show and says, my father dissolved bodies in a fucking kiddie pool and all this shit. Like, why would you say that about your father? I know why. Because you want to exploit him. Your father raised a bunch of fucking rats, and that's the truth. Your own brother ratted on your father. He was like 90-something years old, and he ratted on his own fucking father. Right to prison. You guys are a disgrace.
It was good. It wasn't epic. It wasn't The Godfather. It wasn't Goodfellas. I don't think it was in that level. And I can tell you that the story was a complete lie. There's no truth to the story. Yeah, certain little things.
Guy says this guy's Rambo, not Rambo. I believe that, man.
That happened where, but Sheehan did not kill Jimmy Hoffa.
I agree with them. We don't know who killed Jimmy Hoffa, right? If they knew who killed Jimmy Hoffa, there would be with all the guys that are ratting and snitching over the years, and they would have found the body. Nobody knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa, really. And I agree with him. The movie was a movie. I didn't particularly care for the movie, actually. I thought it fell way short of where it should have been. But it's entertainment. I mean, it's not real life.
There's also the story of the JFK assassination. Michael Franzese talked about that, how he felt the mob was involved in killing of JFK. Now, you believe that the mafia has something to do with JFK's murder?
Yeah, I believe that firmly because of what I was told. And there's no reason for people to mislead or lie to me. People, it's part of that life that had knowledge, yeah.
Did you know anything about that?
Well, everybody knows that Joe Kennedy was involved and he had business with the mob. Everybody knows that the mob helped them. John F. Kennedy won the election with unions and voted, and everybody knows that the Kennedys backstabbed everybody. So do I think the mob was involved in that murder with the government and together? Yes. It was a different era, and things worked differently back then. And things change and evolve over the years. And so corruption, where there's money, there's corruption at any level. I mean, the president, Richard Nixon, got impeached. So, when people are naive to say, well, he's this, human beings are human beings, and the root of evil is money, right? And you read it in the Bible, you read it in the Quran, your Quran, you read it anywhere, and you live it, and life experience tells you about the temptation of greed.
Well, you talked about being in and out of prison most of your adult life. And you spent 18 years total in prison?
In and out, approximately.
In and out, approximately.
I've been in and out of jail my whole life, so.
You did 3.5 years for a gun charge. You ended up being in solitary for about 7 years.
Approximately. You know, my last bid I did between Brazil, MCC, Florida, I never seen a yard. So if somebody says to you, well, did you go out to the yard? I didn't see a yard. I was in lockdown units for 10 years. And that was in Brazil. I think you get out, we got out once a month, either naked or in our underwear with no shoes on rocks.
And that's when he pulled the knife out of his ass and stabbed 2 guards. They didn't even retaliate against him because he is Rambo. Hey, what's he gonna do, right? They're not gonna retaliate because they don't run the prison. He runs the prison. He does whatever he wants, wherever he wants, whenever he wants. He doesn't ask forgiveness, or he doesn't ask permission. He asks forgiveness after. This guy is the most dangerous guy in the world. Watch out. But if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Got a lot of good content on the way. Some interviews are going to be dropping today. I believe Randy Couture is going to be dropping. Christine Faria, shout out to them. Pat Militich. There's a lot of content is going to be dropping. And don't forget, we got 2 more days with this toy drive. So if you want to contribute, you can hit up the Cash App right here, Chatting with Staxx. All the links are in the description. You can hit up PayPal, Venmo, Super Stickers, Super Chats, all that good stuff. And I appreciate every single dollar counts. And remember, if you guys are out there struggling with drug addiction, today can be the first day of the rest of your life. You don't have to be stuck in misery. You can get it together. And there's other people out there who are in the same situation, and you can do it. It is possible. Misery is always refundable. So if you guys like this, hit the like button. If you don't like this content, too bad. Start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.